Agriculture educators call for reintroduction of agriculture as part of SHS curricula.
Whole Customs impound a large amount of substances suspected to be Indian hemp.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to News Hour. Time to bring you a compilation of the stories making news today. My name is Gifty AG.
I am Shirley Annan. Clement Sam is our sign language interpreter for tonight.
In our first story, the Agriculture Educators and Trainers Association of Ghana is calling for a change in agriculture education policy and the reintroduction of the study of agriculture in the junior and senior high schools. At their national conference in Accra, the association was concerned about the poor perception of agriculture in the country.
Economic indicators suggest that agriculture is the bedrock of the economy. Experts say once the sector is developed, agro-based industries will spring up, leading to the mobility of the labor force and better opportunities of employment. However, over the years, the country's import bill continues to rise. Poultry, vegetables and fruits are all imported into the country. This worrying trend is the basis for calls for the reintroduction of agriculture studies at the basic and secondary school levels.
Corporates should include vocational agriculture so that interested students can be given practical hands-on and experiential training to go back and replace the ever-aging farmer population in the country. West African Examination Council should consider reintroducing the field practical work as part of their assessment models for students. In addition to the test of practicals, there should be a clear policy directive through the National Accreditation Board to colleges of agriculture, polytechnics, and universities.
The Dean of the School of Agric at the University of Ghana, Professor John Ofosuenim, appealed to teachers and parents to desist from using farming as a form of punishment.
Students in their minds think that agric is punishment, and I think it's very wrong. It's wrong. We have to encourage them. Let's separate the punishment that we mete out to students at this level from the practical work that they do in the school farm.
The educators and trainers, among other demands, called for the reintroduction of school farms for agric practicals, appropriate policy framework and direction for university requirements, and the reinstitution of agric laboratories in senior high schools. For GBC24, Shirley Annan reporting. The former Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Kofi Annan, has re-echoed the need for Africa to promote an aggressive agriculture drive. Mr. Kofi Annan was speaking in the Volta region, where he went to advocate for the production and consumption of the vitamin A-rich orange-fleshed sweet potato in Ghana.
Volta, Central and the Northern regions are the main cultivators of potatoes in Ghana. Fra potato are among the varieties of the crop grown in Ghana. As a measure to fight malnutrition and subclinical vitamin A deficiency in children, the orange-fleshed sweet potato was introduced. The nutritious sweet potato variety is growing in popularity and becoming an important strategy to improve vitamin A deficiency across Africa. The former UN Secretary General, Mr. Kofi Annan, and his wife became advocates of the crop since they learned of its potential. Each year, the couple pay working visits to farmers to learn at first hand progress and challenges facing them. At Sogakope, farmers have added value to the crop to produce sweet potato gari, bread, flour and biscuits. Mr. Annan expressed satisfaction at the farmers' progress. He said nutrition is important in the growth and development of every child, hence the need to invest more in the sector.
Nutrition is important, and I think when children are brought up and properly fed, they grow up into healthy, hard-working men and women who contribute to society. Nutrition and properly fed societies also increases the prosperity and the GDP of the society.
A representative from the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Mr. Roy Ayariga, lauded the efforts of Mr. Annan and his wife for the effective role they played to ensure the production and consumption of the crop in Ghana.
The Minister of Food and Agriculture would like to use this special occasion to thank and appreciate the efforts and commitment of His Excellency Dr. Annan and his wife for their zeal to ensure that Africa in general and Ghana in particular feed itself with our own homegrown food through various initiatives.
A similar show was also put up at Akachiabo, also in the Volta region. The chairman of the Sweet Potato Innovation Platform, Mr. Emmanuel Daki, urged the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to make the orange-fleshed sweet potato a national priority crop, as growing it reduces poverty and improves the health of both growers and consumers.
And now to the Central Region, where a 5-year scholarship scheme for children has been launched in Winneba. The over $541,000 scheme will support 555 brilliant but needy children in 7 selected regions in Ghana. 60% of the scholarship beneficiaries will be girls. A report by Rebecca Area.
Education is a fundamental human right. Irrespective, it eludes many children, especially the poor, and particularly girls. According to the 2016 Ministry of Education Annual Report, the rate of enrollment at senior high schools stands at 49%. As a result, the majority of children who qualify to senior high schools are not able to enroll due to high cost and the inability of parents and guardians to afford at that level. The $541,080 scheme by Prudential Scholarship comes to complement the efforts of Plan International to reduce the incidence of school dropout.
We hoping that other corporates would collaborate with Plan to scale up this scheme to go beyond the 9 districts that so far we have been able to reach out.
400 students made up of 240 girls and 160 boys between the ages of 14 and 16 years have been awarded a 3-year scholarship package to complete their senior high education.
Now, Prudential has a philosophy of partnering charities and other institutions in the communities that they operate in to be able to improve the lives of members of that community. And we do so not only by providing the funding, but we also make sure that we expose or make available the expertise and experience of our staff in the program.
This private-public partnership initiative is expected to help more children to attain greater heights in education. Rebecca Ewa, GBC24, Accra.
Post Sector Command of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has impounded over 200 slabs of compressed substances suspected to be Indian hemp, suspected to be weed. The KIA truck carrying the contraband with registration number GE178211 was intercepted at the Homota border post on its way to Togo.
The whole sector commander of the Customs Division of the GRA, Assistant Commissioner Frank Kujo Ashon, said the Kia truck pulled up at the Homuta border about 8:15 a.m. with the items which they claimed were local rice they were sending to the Republic of Togo. During their routine examination of the vehicle and goods, the customs officers on duty pierced the bags with a rod. They realized other materials were concealed in the grain. Upon further investigations, they noticed that the 85 bags contained compressed slabs of 2,172 substances suspected to be Indian hemp or weed. The drivers of the vehicle, Wahid Abdullahi, the owner of the goods, Mohammed Umaru, and 2 other accomplices, Stephen Avegan and Evans Isachoku, were then apprehended for further investigation. The sector commander, Mr. Ashon, said they reported the arrest to the Narcotics Control Board officers in Accra.
We are going to trace the supply chain because it is somebody who cultivated this Indian hemp and the compression was done before exportation. We are not only going to limit ourselves to those that we have just intercepted. We are going to bend backwards to trace where the cultivation was done before this export.
Now, Radio Ghana's Ibrahim Opon Kwatin has been awarded a one-year Chevening scholarship to study at the Brunel University in the UK. The broadcast journalist is among 22 other achievers to receive the package from the British High Commission in Ghana. The Minister for Education, Professor J. Nana Opukwajiman, told the recipients to use the knowledge they would acquire to impact positively upon their return.
The Chevening Scholarship is targeted at young persons with outstanding leadership qualities. Some of the beneficiaries of the scholarship include the Minister for Defense, Mr. Benjamin Kumbo, renowned broadcast journalist Kweku Sechi Ado, Paul Adom Otri, Bernard Koku Avle, and Sami Battels. Out of the 990 applicants from Ghana this year, 22 were selected for the 2016-2017 scholarship. This, according to the British High Commission, is an improvement over previous years.
And Chevening is an important element in our foreign policy and in our public diplomacy worldwide. And it helps to bring professionals who've already displayed outstanding leadership talents to study in the UK. One of the outcomes we of course hope for from this scheme is that we create lasting positive relationships between the UK and future leaders and influencers and decision makers around the world.
The Minister for Education, Professor Nana Opukwajiman, commended the beneficiaries of the awards. She had a word of advice for them.
So much as I've used the metaphor that nobody travels with an empty suitcase, we are also not traveling with empty minds. There's so much expectation, but it becomes a challenge. But I think it's possible to sometimes to disabuse our minds of what we think it should be, and rather focus on what it is and what we can learn from it.
GBC24 spoke to some of the Chevening scholars.
It's a good opportunity going to study an MA in international journalism, profession I'm already in. I'm sure would further put me on the international pedestal, and also to come back and then contribute to the development of the country.
Being a lawyer, being a prosecutor at the State Attorney's Department, I aim to ensure that our criminal justice system matches with the world standard, and that is what I will bring back to this country.
I have every reason to be excited. I mean, this is like the dream of every young aspiring leader, any young chap who has leadership drive and is thirsty for change and thirsty for education and to see things on a global level. Been in this job for the last 14 years, for me, is not enough. This is the time to take the profession to a different level.
Welcome back. The National Democratic Congress NDC has challenged the NPP vice presidential aspirant Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to produce the remaining 90% of evidence of the names of thousands of Togolese who he claims through facial recognition technology have their names on the current voters register. According to the party, it has been over a year since Dr. Bawumia made the claim. A Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mr. Koku Anyidoho, threw the challenge at a news conference in Ho.
On the 18th of August last year, the vice presidential aspirant of the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, held a news conference in Accra, during which he claimed that the names of over 76,000 foreigners, particularly Togolese, were on Ghana's voters register. Dr. Bawumia alleged that he had more than 90% of illegally registered names of people along the borders of Ivory Coast and Burkina Faso on the register. The NDC wants Dr. Bawumia to prove the allegation about a year after he made the claim.
And we ask, where is the 90% of work Bawumia promised to produce from Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, and the other neighboring countries? Where is that 90%? In fact, it's 90% plus, because in his own document, he tells us what they have done is less than 10%. If it was true that Bawumia had hard evidence to buttress his claim of Ghana having 76,286 Togolese on our voters register, why did he not take advantage of the just ended voter registration exhibition exercise and present his evidence to the EC for the said names to be deleted? Because per the electoral laws, you are allowed to present evidence to the Electoral Commission during the voters exhibition period, and the names of undesired elements will be deleted. 76,286. Bawumia could not present a single name.
The New Patriotic Party has expressed displeasure at the verbal attacks on its flag bearer, Nana Akufo-Addo, by the NDC. Addressing a news conference in Accra, the acting general secretary of the party, Mr. John Buedu, urged the NDC to come clean on their campaign messages.
Our determination to stop the bastardization of our party through intelligent leadership is what has led to what is obvious to all Ghanaians today, a united MPP focused on prosecuting a constructive campaign of issues to win freely and fairly through prayers, hard work, and a positive image and message. MPP is peaceful. We are proud of our non-violent history and our faith in the rule of law and democracy. We have in Akufo-Addo a man whose record is an open book. He has fought for human rights, for freedoms, for democracy, for rule of law, for reconciliation and unity in Ghana, and for peace and security for other countries throughout his 40-year record of public service. We wish to assure those who wish us evil, and more importantly, reassure the overwhelming majority of Ghanaians who wish us well, that the New Patriotic Party, under the able leadership and competence of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his running mate daughter, Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, is more determined than ever to bring the change Ghana needs in 2016. We will get Ghana back to work. We will bring back integrity to the business of government and restore the pride and dignity of institutions of states. And we will ensure the protection of the rights of our people, all people, including those who oppose us politically. Change is coming. Change is coming. Change is coming.
President John Mahama has called on Ghanaians to renew the mandate of the NDC to continue its good works. He says he has used his first term to add to the socio-economic infrastructure, and he is poised to improve livelihoods of people. He was speaking during his campaign tour at Bimbala, Yendi, Wulensi, and Pandai.
The NDC Bimbala rally was one of the biggest on the president's campaign tour. That constituency is currently in the hands of the MPP, but the NDC says it is poised to take away the few seats that opposition control in the northern region.
We are doing some of the roads. The roads have been bad for years. I remember this Eastern Corridor Road. In 2008, I was coming from Volta region as Professor Camille's running mate. I was coming here to Bimbala. After I crossed Zamanko on the way, I reached somewhere and I told my driver, I said, no, we are lost. This is not the way to Bimbala. He said, oh, this is the way to Bimbala. I said, no, this can't be the way to Bimbala. There was no road. So I said, no, let's ask. So somebody was coming on his bicycle.
saying, I said, oh, elder brother, I beg you, stop. We are going to Bimbila, but it looks like we are lost. So can you show us the way to Bimbila? He said, oh, Bimbila, it's in front of you. You are on the road. That's the road to Bimbila. I said, what?
Addressing other rallies at Pandai and Willensi, the president noted that his administration will need another mandate to complete its agenda for development. The campaign made a final stop at Yendi, where the seat has swung between the two major parties.
Hello, good evening and welcome. Here are some business updates. I am Dorothy Ajimai. Sekedi Takrady became one of the most popular towns in the country following the discovery of oil off Cape 3 Points. It was the expectation of many Ghanaians that the oil find will bring an end to their economic woes. 10 years after the oil find and 5 years after production, the people of Takrady say the oil find has rather made cost of living in the area very high. Oil and gas industry is growing steadily with a total proven reserve base of approximately 888.4 million barrels of oil and 2,312.4 billion cubic feet of gas as at August 2014. In 2010, taps were turned on, signaling the commencement of commercial oil production from the Jubilee fields. In 2016, the country has yet again turned on its first oil at the Treneboa, in Yura and in Tomi 10 fields. Petroleum exploration in Ghana's 10 fields represents one of the largest in sub-Saharan Africa. The 10 fields is expected to produce about 80,000 barrels of oil per day when it reaches full production and has the biggest turret in the world. The industry came with high expectations that would bring massive transformation to the people of the Western region, but cost of living in this region, according to indigents, is very high. In other countries like Angola, the cost of living can best be described as astronomical. In 2013, 2014 and 2015, most of the expatriates who live in the capital Luanda topped the Mesa cost of living survey in the world. In Takrady, traders say prices of foodstuffs and housing have almost doubled. This is the Takrady market circle. A tin of pepper is currently selling at 60 cedis, which was formerly 20 cedis, but GBC24 was told that perishable goods are seasonal. A bag seller, Mercy in Cancer, spoke to GBC24.
Things are expensive due to the high cost of living. People just ask for the prices of the goods, but do not buy.
The secretary for the Takrady Electrical Dealers Association, Jackwell Ajay, and some others spoke to GBC24.
Things are very expensive. Why? Because we've got so many people who have come around, others from the other regions, and then they have come to stay here. So most especially the food.
We will be glad if the youth are engaged as well.
Housing, according to a caretaker, John Abeka, comes with high taxes, making rent expensive. He says currently he pays 11,000 Ghana cedis on property and other taxes as compared to 4,500 Ghana cedis paid some months ago.
It's not easy to be a caretaker in Takrady these days. Things are expensive and I have no option than to increase my rent too.
However, a casual look at the benefits, a 10th partner, Cosmos Energy, has provided safe drinking water among other development projects. The city of Takoradi is feeling the pinch of oil city globally. Away from the oil story, 10 million people in Ghana have so far registered for the mobile money services throughout the country. Out of this number, 4.4 million have mobile money accounts. Records also indicate that there are 94,000 active mobile money agents with over 24 million transactions taking place every month. This was disclosed at a mobile money forum in Accra. It was under the theme Mobile Money and Banking, Complementary or Competitive.
Since it was introduced in 2009, the transfer of money through the telecommunication system has been the quickest and preferred choice for many. It is estimated that about 80% of Ghanaians do not save with the traditional banks. This means they conduct their transactions outside the banking sector. There is a growing concern that the activities of the mobile money operators have taken over some of the services of the financial institutions in the country. The Mobile Banking Forum was organized as part of steps to eliminate the rivalry between the banks and the telecommunication industry. The discussion focused on how the two groups could collaborate with each other to reach the unbanked. The head of Vodafone Cash, Mr. Matteson Obeneji, indicated that mobile money transfer has helped people to transact businesses without going through problems which normally pertain in the banks.
If I have to pay my loan at the end of the month and I decide to save every day and my mom gets sick on 28th, forget about repaying my loan. I will attend to my mom. But if I can repay the loan every day, that means that if my mom gets sick on 28th and I get any money to sort her out, the only default for the month is 2 days. Mobile money gives access to customers to be able to repay the loans that they contract from the banks conveniently and effectively.
The head of electronic business of Cow Bank, Ms. Martha Akwe, called for a collaboration between the telcos and the financial institutions to share data.
Today, a couple of banks recognizing the need for collaboration between banks and the telcos allow for customers to link their bank accounts to their wallets, a service popularly known in the mobile money industry as push and pull. With this move, a bank which has 50 branches or 100 ATMs can allow their customers make deposits and withdraw across the active number of agents from the mobile money sector.
The chairman of the planning committee of the Ghana Banking Awards, Nana Utui Champon, said collaboration is the way forward if money transfer is to advance from its current fragmented state.
Mobile money payment is now a very topical issue. And as a topical issue, we needed to explore it to give people a better understanding. And then identify from the public also what they feel some of the shortcomings are, so that going forward, the regulator will be able to fashion out some robust regulation for the market.
For many, mobile money is a cheaper alternative to similar services in the traditional banking system.
Meanwhile, a PwC survey of the banking industry has revealed that 71% of bankers perceive the penetration of mobile money services as both a threat and an opportunity. At a forum in Accra, the second deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. John Isiama, said the central bank is ready to regulate the mobile money industry for the mutual benefit of the telecommunication companies and the banking sector.
We are revising the guidelines currently. We want to turn this into law. That kind of tension is always there. Whether you want these mobile money operators to become banks or etc., are you going to protect the banks against them? Or one thing I see that may help is when eventually we have this common platform for retail payments coming into place. That may partly help somehow. The idea is for us to be focused more closely, on the industry, given the dynamic nature that it is assuming.
In insurance news tonight, we take a look at the term premium. An insurance premium is the amount of money that an individual or business pays to an insurance company for an insurance policy. The amount is largely dependent on the kind of policy one signs onto. The insurance premium is a considered income by the insurance company once it is earned. The premium also represents a liability because the insurer must provide coverage for claims being made against the policy. Financial cost of obtaining an insurance cover is the regular payment made to the insurance company in lump sum or installments during the duration of the policy. The director for the Ghana Insurance College, Mr. Justice Ofori, described premiums as price to pay for protection received for being insured.
There are so many factors that goes into the pricing. As I said, the type of risk involved, the type of coverage, and even sometimes where you live, your age can be a factor when it comes to determining premium. A younger person who has bought a new vehicle, like an 18, 22-year-old boy who has bought a vehicle, will definitely pay more than someone who is in his 60s, because a 60-year-old person will be more careful in driving than a younger person. Also, where you live, if you live in a calm neighborhood compared to a rough neighborhood, I mean, someone who lives in areas where there's a lot of violence will probably attract a higher premium than someone who lives in a very calm residential area. Another factor that could also affect the determination of premium could be the distance from your home to work.
The insurance segment was brought to you by SIC Live. We have more news coming up. Please do stay.
Good evening and many thanks to have you join us on the health segment of the news brought to you by FPAC, Blows Your Pain Away. I'm Evans Echampon. The road leading to the Atua Government Hospital at Odumase in the Manya-Krobo district is deplorable. GBC24's Sarah Ofori has this report on the road.
The Atua Government Hospital is one of the 3 government hospitals in the lower Manya-Krobo district. It is the first port of call for residents catering for their health needs and that of the adjoining communities. One thing, though, would not go amiss. The state of the road leading to the hospital is deplorable, and wonder how emergency cases are transported to and from the hospital.
Hospital. Adipuyukunya, Tankpe, Manning and the John Chopekea. Mainly, a several school or training college, Mount Mary Training College. No, never pay about 5 years, 5 years, never pay about we put a born never point.
Bro, now work at Jesus in your bro. He never now will bro. I will bro. First coach, not be up, second coach. Not pay one, I pay guess you got that way here. Only John, Lohejan can't see on it. Like, no. A penny of Bunny Church. Can you wear Matbury, where college in Wa University in Wa Moya Ebro.
Want to hear Atua, Kenoku Bewa, near Somaya Hill, Nayatua, Dinner emergency road, Gileone, blow a
The residents say the road was poorly constructed and blame authorities for looking on aloof and for the lack of supervision. Sarah Ofori reporting for GBC24.
And now hundreds of pensioners have been screened for prostate disorders, diabetes, hypertension, and eye-related ailments. About 4,000 members of the Greater Accra branch of the National Pensioners Association are expected to be screened in the 3-day exercise.
Out of a nationwide membership of about 65,000, 33,000 members of the National Pensioners Association are concentrated in the Greater Accra region alone. Ailments peculiar to their age are diabetes, eye-related ailments, hypertension, and prostate disorders. As part of a nationwide drive to screen its members for these ailments free of any charges, about 4,000 pensioners are expected to partake in the 3-day maiden exercise, which included massage sessions.
It goes down for a minute. It can be soft.
Drugs, lenses, and frames were also available for the pensioners to patronize.
We think that screening is very important. You see, when you are on pension, apart from your pension, the size of your pension, you use the money to pay for medical bills. It is good for you to know at every time your medical status.
A prostate clinic was run for the men. It was highly patronized. GBC24 finds out more on the disease, which is highly prevalent in men.
Only males have the prostate organ, and when a cancer affects the prostate organ, that is where we say someone has prostate cancer. The prostate is located below the bladder and it wraps around the urethra. So when any condition or any problem affects the prostate, it affects your urine. So most often what people present with is difficulty passing urine. So sometimes they strain during urination, sometimes the urine split into two. That is when it's beginning, when it's starting, that is what you start experiencing. The urine starts to split into two, and when it's not well treated, it can lead to something we call retention of urine.
According to medical herbalist Dr. Prince Osei, about 20 new cases are reported at his prostate center facility. He advises that men whose family has history of prostate disorders must go for regular checkup once every 6 months as soon as they turn 35 years or once every year at age 50 and above.
Normally the prostate weight shouldn't be more than 40. Anything less than 40 is accepted. But when you come and it's more than 40, we can give medications to reduce it. And the symptoms associated with it, the frequent urination, the straining on urination and all that, medications are there to reduce all those symptoms. So if the size is not so big, medications will reverse it.
Prostate disorders are curable when detected early and can also be treated when cancerous. Even that depends on the stage of the cancer. Sarah for GBC24, Accra.
And that wraps up the segment tonight, brought to you by FPAC. Blues your pain away. Stay tuned.
Ms. Rebecca Ewa, a warm welcome to the sports segment. The John Michaels Ladies Football Club played a goalless draw game with Christ Angels FC. The encounter was one of the match day 2 fixtures in the ongoing Greater Accra Regional Women's Division 1 League.
The Mamprobi Salvation School Park was the venue for one of the matches in the ongoing Greater Accra Regional Women's Division 1 Football League. The home side, the John Michaels Ladies, who were in the yellow jersey, played Odoko Buzia-based Christ Angels. The John Michaels Ladies dominated the entire game but found it difficult to score. They were awarded a penalty but missed. The encounter ended 0-0. Here are some reactions from the coaches and players.
It was a bad day for us in terms of goal. The chances you could see on the screen, the number of begging chances that we missed. And I hope the next week we'll make amends and then we'll do and perform better to clinch and come to the top of the table.
They came for at least draw, but we came for win. But we create a lot of chances, but unfortunately we couldn't equalize. We get a penalty, they spoil it.
Very happy because this team, they are a stubborn team. We used to play friendly matches, they beat us. Just on a few occasions we had to draw and win. But today we prepared adequately for them. If you could watch their game, we try to play defensive because they are very skillful. We are not like that, we are just a new team.
We've met them in several friendly matches, but they beat us. This one we get prepared, very, very well prepared, and we played draw. We thank God for what He has done for us.
It's just normal thing. It happens. It happens. So next time we'll make our best.
We were lacking, but it took us with a surprise. That's why. So we thank God.
The league continues this weekend at the various league centers.
And the second edition of the Takoradi Golf Invitational Tournament has been launched. More than 70 golfers are expected to battle for honours.
The greens at the Takoradi Golf Course will be active when the best golfers from the country and beyond converge for the second edition of the Takoradi Invitational Golf Championship. The event, codenamed the Jet Set Weekend Festival, will start from the 9th to the 12th of September this year. It is aimed at promoting Takoradi as a city worth visiting. Launching the event at the Holiday Inn Hotel in Accra, officials promise to create an experience which will encourage repeat visits to the city.
One reinvigorates the local Takoradi economy, and which is mainly oil and gas local suppliers, and secondly to try to support the Western region, or should I say Takoradi, from the point of view of tourism. We believe that that region is probably the #1 region in Ghana when it comes to destination tourism, and we continue to support this. We have a 10-year plan for the Jet Set Weekend and for the Takoradi Golf Open. And frankly speaking, our medium-term objective is to be able to be one of the best in the West African region.
We have a pergola party, which is a very intimate, very nice, classy champagne reception. And we have next day Mexican pool party, lots of culture, lots of color, lots of beautiful music. And then that evening we have our white party. Then on Sunday we have the golf, obviously. After the golf we have a Brazilian beach party, carnival beach party. And that evening we have an all-black party. Then on Monday we have a grill to go. So you get a lovely grill before you set off back to Accra.
The Takoradi Invitational Golf Tournament is expected to promote tourism, boost socialization, and offer networking opportunities for participants and lovers of.
That's about it for sports.
Now to some entertainment news. Renowned playwright Uncle White has released another blockbuster titled Sankofa. The play focuses on some negative attitudes of some Ghanaians who find themselves at higher positions.
Mr. Ferguson! Oh, hello!
Sankofa is a Twi word which literally means go back and get it. The play Sankofa tells the story about two distinguished Ghanaian professors, Professor Hedi and his friend, Professor Danso. The two maltreated a student named Ferguson till he dropped out the university.
Remember all your students? Well, those who make us a big. Oh, well, actually, you failed me. Ah, then you were not good. Like I said, that's what you said. You always said that. You told me you are the most hopeless student ever to darken this lecture hall.
He later distinguished himself and also became a professor. The two professors, Hedi and Danso, later traveled to Australia in pursuit of the greatest achievements in their careers. Interesting turn of events threatened to throw their vision down the drain as they realized the student they wrote off was the reason why they are in Australia. Meanwhile, a long-lost daughter, Esther Hedi, who was married to the maltreated student, confronted her dad about an unsolved past.
C stands for your number of days. In other words, Esther, every day my love for you grows.
After the play, we spoke to some patrons.
It's one of the best so far, to be honest with you. Almost every show you see a major improvement, and I think Uncle has never disappointed.
It was a great show, and I had a lot of fun and laughter.
There were a lot of lessons in it to learn, a lot of lessons, and I really learned a lot from them.
The brain behind the play, Uncle Ebu White, threw more light on Sankofa.
Give a Ghanaian authority over other Ghanaians in any contest, and you would find him wanting to sit on them and to stifle their creativity and to limit them. How we can overcome that, I have no idea. I think that we can only highlight it for us to all think about it and talk about it and say that this is not right, let's change it. Because, and if we're able to do that, that then becomes, then one aspect of theater is fulfilled.
That's it for News Hour. Thank you for watching. Good evening.